right, Leroy Enzugusi. How did you?
Good.
All right. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have you ever listened to the pod before?
I listened to Cole Poppins, so
Okay.
that's the only one I've ever listened to, though.
Okay. So you might not know the first question.
No, so the first question always is this the first pod you've ever been on?
This is the first pod I've ever been on.
Welcome, Leroy.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
I'm a little excited, yeah, for sure.
I'd be nervous too.
So I had to pick him up and because no car apparently, and you were just trimming your hair in there. Is that what took so long?
That's a good point for our YouTube. They can see what Leroy's hair looks like.
That's right.
And it took so long to get him ready.
Yeah, and he's rocking the old Scottie Pippen jersey.
Yes, sir.
Which is sweet.
Yes, sir.
Before we go down the path of kind of learning about you and what you're up to, are you like a basketball guy?
Yeah, I love the Celtics, but my family is a big Bulls fan, and I always watch the Michael Jordan documentary like every once in a while, and I still to this day think Scottie Pippen was the best player in the league. It was Michael Jordan. I know it's a tough take, but the guy led in rebounds, assists, steals. Like he did a lot of work for Mike. So
did you grow up watching basketball more than watching soccer?
I actually loved basketball way more. And then I visited Kenya. That's where I was born there when I was 10. And I played every day. Woke up, ate breakfast, straight out to the field. And I was there for 2 months, the whole summer. I just played footy every day. And that's when I came back to the States. I was like, I'm never touching a basketball again.
Well, who's the best basketball player on the Drake team?
Ooh. I'll say Lucas Bartlett.
Because of his size?
I would say size, and he just takes over, man. He just wants to take over. It's a good quality to have.
Love it. So, okay, so you just gave us a little glimpse of your youth. So, usually, let's not even talk about the other stuff right now. Let's just talk about what got you into the game. And it sounds like there might have been some stuff going on before you were 10, before you figured out soccer was a thing. So, tell us the story.
Yeah, so I was born in Kenya, moved moved to Tennessee when I was 6, and there was a lot of basketball orientated. I went to a lot of basketball oriented school.
You said Memphis?
Memphis, yep. And I didn't really know soccer that much, and my dad was like, "You should watch Liverpool." He's a big Liverpool fan. "You should watch Liverpool." I was like, "I don't want it. It's slow, whatever that is." And then I went to Kenya. So my family goes to Kenya every 2-3 years to visit. So I was 10, went back to Kenya for the first time, and I'm 10 years old. I don't remember really how Kenya was. So I get there and I'm thinking I'm gonna be in the jungle or something crazy. But I was in the city, Nairobi, and one of my cousins was like, "You play soccer?" I was like, "No, but I'll try. I'm cool." And then we went onto the field. I see all the kids, they're enjoying this crap paper bag ball with no shoes. Some of them wearing flip-flops, and I'm wearing my cleats ready to go. So I take off all my cleats, because I just want to fit in. I'm 10 years old. I'm like, oh, they're not wearing shoes, so I'm not gonna wear shoes. So I started to fall in love with the guys, and I remember we played this game called chobowe, and it's like nutmegs. So 2 points if you meg the player, and 1 point if you just score a goal. So no one was really going to score goals. We're just trying to chobowe people, and that's kind of what I fell in love with. Just the banter, the screaming, the hollering, the freedom, just being out there and no one knows who you are or what you're doing. You're just playing footy, and that's something I just want to keep forever. So that's what's kind of pulled me into the game.
That's cool. Is that how you say nutmeg?
Yeah, chobowe.
Chobowe?
Yeah.
You're going to start saying that, aren't you?
What was the one that the French guy at the coaching course? Remember his was the Ponte Pont, his little bridge?
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, his little bridge.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting in Europe how nutmeg is expressed in other places.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then you came back to Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're a soccer crazed 10-year-old.
Yeah. So I was like, "Mom, you gotta put me in team. I went to play the Y with the sky blue. I'll never forget. I was number 13. I got the jersey, on luck, and I was born on the 13th. And ever since this day, I've always worn number 13. Any team I ever played.
I'm a 13 guy too, Leroy.
Good. Yeah. So my dad got a decent job in Iowa. He's making his way, and I want to say my parents have worked really hard to get me where I am today. Like they came here with nothing, and my dad, all he had was a little engineering degree from Kenya. They both did their masters while working in a gas station and a warehouse, and finally got to Iowa, got a house, put me on a club team, and from there, it was easy for me. You know, went to practice, got extra practice, and at the time when I was going to the extra practices, I wasn't like trying to get better and trying to train, do whatever it was. I was just going to extra because that's what I wanted to be. It's where I wanted to play. No one was pushing me. I was just wanting to strictly have fun.
Was this at your CRSA? Is this
CRSA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good. So CRSA and high school, yeah.
I went to Linn-Marr High School. Yeah, and we had a good run there. Won a state championship.
So I remember hearing about that. Was that you? That was you.
Yeah.
Like your guys.
Mhm.
Got it. That's pretty exciting. Because that's not a big soccer school, right?
No. So what happened was we were all like, I would say 8 or 9 of us were at CRSA club, and we were like, when we're high schoolers, we should win. Like we kept saying in middle school, when we're high schoolers, we should win. And finally, we got to high school, and all us freshmen, sophomores, we made the varsity team, and we just kept learning each other. And by the time we were juniors, I was a sophomore actually. We won the championship. It was lit.
Awesome.
Talk a little bit about like the high school experience, because obviously the atmosphere is night and day different than the club atmosphere at games and whatnot.
So I would say like I played at a lot of different levels, and the club level is something where you have to kind of bring your own energy. Sometimes the games are in the morning, they're cold or whatever it is, like it's too hot, but whatever it is, you have to bring your own energy and kind of set the tone yourself. And your coach is the only one who's there to help you. And the atmosphere of the high school game was different because you go to school and you're dressed up, it's game day, everyone's telling you good luck, like, you know, people are talking to you and it's game, and now you're warming up and like all the girls are in the fans and you know, we run, you know. So
They've probably got like music going.
Yeah.
Under the lights.
Mm-hmm. So you're like excited to 7 p.m. under the lights, like it feels like a real game, like, and so I think that also pushed me a little bit more to want to be the best at Linn-Marr, to want to strive for more, to want to keep that feeling of a pregame, of going to school, of people knowing who I am. I wanted to keep that feeling for a long time.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Recruiting wise, do you have anything else meant for that, or?
No, well, and talk about just like you talked about high school soccer and a little bit like the difference of kind of the atmosphere and stuff. But what about just because for me at least, that's why I'll explain it why I'm asking the question. When I was in high school, I had the blinders on. I didn't enjoy high school soccer as much as I probably should have or could have. And I was I wanted to play better players all the time, whatever. And so I would kind of, at the time I was anti-high school, but now I look at it and I realize how much it taught me about, leadership and, just things like speaking to a camera, you're all of those little things. So I'm just curious, like, what are the differences for you and we'll talk about it a little bit.
So I would say I actually didn't want to play high school soccer like you. Because I always wanted to go to an academy and kind of play with the biggest dogs, like get like really good, and So like when I was playing high school, I was my freshman year. I was kind of bummed about it, but I learned like playing with the seniors and juniors, like they could teach me things that I didn't know. They could carry themselves the way that I didn't know how to carry myself. Even preparing for the game, like I remember I used to, like the night before a game, I swore I had to play FIFA for a certain number of hours, do like weird things before nights of games, and they're like, hey man, that's that's not the best way to prepare for a game. So like things like that, I learned a lot in high school. And the older guys, I give them all the credit because they taught me how to carry myself and how to talk to people and how to act after a game.
Yeah, and it does help you, like, I think it's good socially too. Like you
Mhm.
mentioned, like you walk around and people, kind of know who you are. It gives you a little bit of an identity
Mhm.
in a time when it's sometimes hard to have.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're also playing against, like you said, you're playing against with like almost men, young men that are 17, 18 that are physically.
Right, especially when you're a freshman, sophomore.
Yeah, and I would say I'm sure there's a lot of freshmen, sophomores now who want to play at that varsity level and they think they're too small. I would say if you think you're too small, and I thought I was too small at the time, like if you can clean up just your speed of play, like just touch play, and no one will ever touch you, then like it doesn't matter how big you are. And I know it might go unseen, but still will take you to the next level.
I think that's a challenge for a lot of young kids when they're not playing against older kids. So the speed of play, they can be the man on their club team at U14,
Right.
And then they go play with U17, but you've never played or never even trained with them.
Yeah.
And it's just like an eye-opening experience.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, like when you're training with your age group, like I did this, you're training your age group and you're having a good time and you're the best player or whatever, you're feeling yourself. Just like, reality checks come and be prepared for those. Because I remember I'm so fast, I'm athletic, blah, blah, blah. Freshman in high school, I'm getting bullied, and like I'm trying to do things that won't work against this 18-year-old senior. So yeah, I wish I knew that before freshman year, but the whole freshman year I was trying to beat people with my pace and be the bigger guy and talk hard and all this stuff. But sophomore year I learned that, I don't need to do all that. I just need to get the ball out of my feet and it'll come back and get away from those big guys. Like stop trying to show them that you're bigger than them. Like you don't need it.
Especially when like you're going up against a linebacker, the middle
Yeah.
linebacker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember playing some teams like that where it's like the football team.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you're playing against today. And they certainly hate a little punk freshman.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
thinks he's hot shit. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, so sort of talk about then, like how, like the next steps, right?
Yeah, so you didn't play senior year, you went down to Kansas City, and
Yeah.
how that came about.
So like I said, I really wanted to play at the academy level, and it took me a while to kind of go away from home and be like, all right, this is it. I want to do it. And I went to Shattuck my junior year, and I wanted to go there, but I kind of kept taking it back and like, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave home. I'm the best. One of the best players at Linn-Marr. Like this is awesome. But then my senior year came around or my junior year, after my junior year came around and we lost that final, some guys were like, wow, that was my last game. And so to me, I kind of thought, I can't ever feel that way. Like that was my last game. This is my last season. I can't ever feel that way. So my decision to go to Sporting was to just find a way to make it to the next level, to play college soccer, to go play pro. And so I decided just to, whatever happens, like I'll regret it if I stay home. And I seriously, I didn't want to leave home because of all those things I mentioned. So I got to Sporting, and
Did you go on trial there, or how did that come?
yeah, so I went to trial at Sporting, and Gareth helped me get that trial as well. And the thing that happened is it was tough. Like those players, I remember it was day 2. We were clipping long balls to our left foot, and it was competition day. So
When was the last time you did that?
And I was good. And so like if you don't get the ball on the other side of with your left foot in the air, if it doesn't touch them with the air, and so they can come 1v1 at you, then the other team gets a point. And I will say all the kids at Sporting, like they played at a high level. They train with the first team. They see the pros go every day, so they knew who they were. And like for me to come in there and not be able to play that left foot ball and lose points for my team, it was tough, man. They were telling me all kinds of things like, what are you, haven't you ever kicked the ball? Like, so.
And you're from Iowa, so I think that, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I scored goals in high school. Like, we don't high school, like, you know, like some of them never played high school soccer. So it was tough. The first 2 months, I was tough. I was being left home.
You weren't making like the travel.
Yeah, I didn't make the first two. So preseason, there was like 3-4 preseason games. I missed one. I came off the bench like the 80th minute. And then the first 2 games, I just like missed a play. But then somehow, luckily, and I should say my coach was taking the time with me to get better because he liked my pace and my work ethic and my ability to kind of like shrug off the bad things that was going on and just come back the next day. It's a new day to get better.
Who was that coach?
It was John Perry. And so
That is like probably the hardest thing when you're in that situation is to just be like, show up again. You're just gonna show up again.
Do it
It doesn't
again.
matter that what that dude said to you the day before,
right.
even though you've been thinking about it all night.
All night. You're at dinner, and I lived with the host family in Sporting, the Coolmans, and yeah, and they're asking me, "Are you gonna get to play this weekend?" And I'm just like, "Oh man, like no, not yet." But like, they still, even then, they were like, "Don't worry," like they were so supportive. And so I think that what helped is I had a lot of supporting cast. My parents were like, "It's fine, just stay there, you're good." My dad's like, "Don't come home." I was like, "If you want to come home." My dad's like, "No, you said you wanted this, stay." So then finally I made a squad. After a while I started being able, I can cook the ball with my left foot now. And I made the squad, and my first weekend we had a game on Thursday and a game on Saturday or Sunday or something like that. It was a 2-game weekend. And luckily I got 2 goals in each game, and that just started the kind of road for me at Sporting. And I will like
Now your teammates will talk to you.
yeah, now my teammates are like, "Well done." Like I'm on the bus and they're fist bumping me, and I'm at practice and they're encouraging me, and they're, you know, they wanted me to get better. And I still was like, I'm still struggling. I'm still not as good as other players, but the thing that like no one could take away from me and it wasn't comparable to others. I was just ready to go again. Like I just lost the ball. Please give it to me again. Give it to me again. Like I wasn't ready to. I just like, so I remember one game someone gave me a through ball. I missed it. I missed another one, 2 of them in a row. And I kind of was like I remember the mind that I was like, dude, I can't miss another one. And then I thought to myself, I'm not going to miss another one, because when I do think I can't miss another one, then that's when I mess up.
Yeah, of course.
So it like, that moment, I remember it took me to a mental state where I was like, if I mess up, I don't even remember it that I messed up. So then I could go for the next one. And that is hard to do. It's so hard to do. Even today, I'm still struggling with missing a pen and just like, oh my God, I'll take another pen. But that's something you have to do. Like you miss, you gotta take another one. I've never missed a pen.
Okay.
That's interesting. The mental side of it, like you score 2 goals,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you go from feeling it down in the dumps to feeling like you belong, and literally like all it takes is 2 goals.
You ever missed the penalty, Steve?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's like a tough one.
Yeah.
It's Drake soccer lore right there.
Thanks, man.
I was just gonna say, because I remember missing them and being like, literally the next time being like, I have to shoot again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I need another one. I gotta make up for that. Sorry, Steve.
I never got another one. So.
Yeah, Leroy, do you want to hear my story?
I do. I looked.
We played Bradley in the conference semifinals, penalty shootout.
Your senior year.
Yeah, senior year.
His last game.
And we lost 5-4 in the shootout. And we didn't save once. We lost 5-3, 5-4, something like that. So
Where'd you go?
Were you the 5th taker then?
no, I was 4, I think. Yeah, and then the guy after us maybe missed, and that was it. So luckily I didn't like.
Did
I
a
wasn't the last taker,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Where'd you go? Did he
Just
save it?
like, he did. He saved it. So that was my only.
You should give yourself a chance.
So we're talking to Leroy.
Let's see where was that on the. We're gonna make sure we cook that out.
So you down in Kansas, having success. I'm curious. I don't know the answer. Where'd you go on visits? Who was recruiting you? And
Yeah, you had to have been recruited.
Yeah, so actually I should go back before I went to Sporting. My junior year, I was in Cedar Rapids, I only had offers from Loyola and Drake, and Gareth made me feel like he was gonna take care of me, and like I said, I was gonna mess up, but I want you to know that I'm still gonna be there the next day to mess up again, essentially.
You're not getting rid of me.
Yeah. So like, Gareth kind of let me know that like, yeah, we'll work with you, we'll get you better, like I'll be patient with you, and that's what kind of made me feel. And to be honest, I like Loyola's school, the campus. Like I always wanted to go somewhere bigger, not like super nice. And that's what Loyola was. But the coach just didn't make me feel the way Gareth made me feel in relation to keeping a good like mental state with me, like believing in me. So yeah, I committed to Drake right before I went to Sporting, and so that's why Gareth kind of helped me. I was like, Gareth, if I want to be a good college soccer player, I can't go another year playing high school soccer. Like I need more, and so that's why I kind of went to Sporting.
So you only went on 2 visits?
Yeah, I only went on the visit to Loyola, and I didn't go and visit Drake just because like I'd been to Drake a lot of times.
That's amazing. Like,
yeah.
one of the better soccer players in time didn't get any sniffs.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a conversation for another day, but a lot of it has to do with the academy and the way that the D1 schools recruit within in that system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're even at a further disadvantage if you're not playing for an MLS academy, because that's the first place they're going. And then it's okay. Well, I play for Shattuck. Well, you could play for Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
And you went too late. I mean, the recruiting process. You're going down there your senior year.
Yes.
How many calls did you get after you scored 2 goals?
That's the thing. They were like at Sporting, like coaches would come and watch practice sessions. We would go to a tournament. I played ODP, and I went to Florida, and when I went to Florida at ODP, there was academy tournament going on at the same time. So these tournaments are going on at the same time at IMG. And I remember when I was in the ODP, there was a bunch of coaches watching, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many coaches watching this ODP game. And then I went to academy, and I went to that same tournament, and it was day and night the amount of coaches that would watch the game. I remember playing LA Galaxy and all top 25 schools right there,
Yeah, they're all got their hats on and
Yeah.
their clipboards out.
Mm-hmm. So like, I would say for Iowa kids, we are at a big disadvantage, and even I would say Nebraska too, without having the academy, without being able to go to state and go to big tournaments. I would say
Getting the scene is a challenge.
it's so hard, and you have to go to camps. You have to reach out. You have to do all the gritty work that other academies kids don't have to, because it's that hard.
So, slight tangent. We were talking about this the other day, and we were talking about the difference between, like maybe somebody like you, and then there's also like the kid that's just playing club soccer, and the coaches are like, yeah, you can probably keep going, and they find a way to keep going, but it sort of seems like they're just on a path, and it kind of gets them where they want to go. Like for me, I play the guitar. I'm not good, but I could like pay for some lessons. I could do some more things, but really what I need to do is just like dig in and do it. And it seems to me that like that was the approach you took. It was like, okay, when whatever age it was, 14, 15, you're like, all right, this is going to happen. And you did everything you could to make it happen. Do you think that's like the big difference between you and whoever else?
Yeah, I would say there was a lot of stake of, oh man, that's gonna be hard. What do you mean you're gonna go play at Sporting? Like, and again, I had a lot of people believe in me, but there was always like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play college soccer. Like that was a conversation that you surround yourself with, just because we are where we are. And my parents always try to tell me this, like your friends, you aren't your friends. Your friends aren't you. Like you guys have a different upbringing, different background. The only thing you guys have in common is you guys both play at CRSA. So I always remember that in the back of my head. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna be playing pro. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna play college soccer. And like even go back, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna score goals in high school. Like I just remember I was just like, just trying everything I could. Like, oh, that could maybe work. I'll try it, you know. I'm just because I just loved it so much. Like it wasn't a chore for me. So where I would say what separates it is I think other people take it as a chore. And then like, oh, my mom keeps telling me I have to apply for schools. My mom keeps telling me I should talk to coaches. And that wasn't for me. It was like, Mom, like what is this or is this so I can apply for this school? Like what is this or this so I can reach out to this coach? Mom, can you take me to this tryout? Like so I would say your parents can only do so much. So it requires you to just actually take over and take what you want.
Yeah, I'm struck by the maturity of that comment. That's good. I think that a lot of people could take some notes on that.
Mm.
So talk a little bit about, well, any other good stuff about sporting? Like this is Seaver's question, right? Who was the best kid you played with? Like who were the guys down there that were like, oh, legit?
Yeah, and you're playing against, obviously you're playing against some of these guys.
I mean, you're playing against like signed pros, technically, right?
When I tell you, like, so these guys are so good, so good. Cabuccio, he came. I was already at the academy when Cabuccio came. He's a new. He just got the number 10 jersey for Sporting. He's 19 years old, and so he came when
Is he American?
He's American. He's got an Italian mom or something. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know actually, but
I should know if he was a potential like national team prospect.
Oh, he is. Okay. He is. U.S. national team already playing for the under 20s.
Got it.
Yeah, but this guy, he came in 14. I'm in the 18s. Coach is saying, oh yeah, he's gonna play with us this weekend. Okay, try me. 14 years old. Okay, so he came in into the first session. Oh my God, clean. Like if you know soccer, like his box, the way he takes his touch, like the ball doesn't move. He doesn't need to look down and dribble. He can dribble left and right feet, like
super small, right?
Super small, but technical. Super small, quick. I wouldn't say overly fast, but quick, but unbelievably technical and confident. I would say super confident. And he was just one of the really good like ones where I saw he was 14 and he was playing at that level. But there was also on my team, in my age group, there was 4 kids who got signed. Jalen Lindsay, right back, Dog, Felipe and Kuzane. We called them the Pacquiao brothers. These guys shifty, and could hit a free kick from anywhere. Like put a ball anywhere, and they were just. Will say like confident. Give me the ball. Hey Leroy, you should just give me the ball. Like they would just come tell me like, why aren't you just giving me the ball? So like these kids, they were 16, 17, but they were like in their mind, they were like, I'm a pro already. So like that's kind of why you say like mature. Like as I stayed in that sporting realm, I kind of learned how to walk like them, talk like them, carry myself as a pro. I'm 17, I'm acting like I'm a pro. So, and I just thought that was just the only way to do it because that's what they did.
You know, act as if.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So did you get to be around the first team at all? Yeah. So after a while, I kept going, scoring goals, and Felipe was giving me all those tap-ins and whatnot. But I went to a first team session, like 2 or 3. And I remember one session I was at, I think I took a bad touch or someone took a bad touch. And one of the players was like, hey, why are all these academy kids here? Oh. And I think the rest of that practice, I was a practice cone. But man, that was, when I tell you nervousness, sweaty palms, like that was the nervous I've ever been. And so I went to the second team, Swope, and I signed an academy contract. So that pretty much means they're not gonna pay you, but they'll like take care of your food and the stuff you need to get by. And you can play for the team. And so this is where I like really, and at this time I'm 17 and I'm like, I'm a professional soccer player. I'm gonna sign Gareth. I'm probably not coming to college. So I'm in that mental state.
Well, you got the swagger like these.
Yeah,
good players.
like I told you, I'm carrying it. you know. So I struggled, straight up struggled. And my thing is I'm fast, I'm quick. Like I get out of things because of that. And I just couldn't use, like I said in high school, I couldn't figure it out how to use my pace, how to use my quickness. Like I couldn't figure it out. And it took me a while to learn. But by the time I learned, I was already off the slope. And it was a hard
Did
time.
you get cut?
Yeah, not get cut. They were just like, just go with the academy kids. And so that was kind of where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need to go to college and prepare real hard. So, and I think what I didn't have at that time was the simplicity of soccer. Like taking my first touch with my left foot, I didn't do that. I always just took it with the outside of my right, you know, like getting out of a space with 3 touches rather than 4, or 2 touches rather than 1, hitting the thing from one time in the box with my weak foot, but rather than put on my right foot. Like those things were just like simple things that you think are simple to say, but just I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up. And so that's why when I went to Sporting, or when I went to Drake, like I remember as soon as I got there, it's like, all right, I got to train all these. I got 4 years to train all these little things that I couldn't do. And yeah, that was that at Sporting.
Massive eye-opening experience for you, right? I mean, we can skip way ahead, but you wouldn't know, like where you're at today. I mean, that had to have had a huge impact in that environment, in those experiences. Because now you've, like you said, you've figured out, here's what I got to do. Clearly, you've done some of it at least, and figured that part out. Now, when you're ready to take the next step, wherever that is, you know what to expect at least, right?
Yeah, and I would say it was a really like it felt bad, like it felt like I had failed, like. And then when I was there again, like those kids were signing, and they were like, well, "Why are you going to college? Like, once you go to college, you know you're never gonna get back here." And at the time, I was like, "No, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back." But then sophomore year or freshman year after that was, I led the team in goals with 5 goals, but it's only 5 goals. We only won 6 of the 20 games. Like when I tell you, it was just like 2 years of just terrible soccer. And I was just like, wow, is this over for me? And again, I went back into that state of like, nope, we'll just be back again. We'll just fail again until we make it right. So like that freshman year was so tough. Because I didn't even
play. You're scoring goals. But you're losing all the time.
And we weren't playing well. I wasn't playing well. Like the seniors we weren't talking to each other. It was just a weird team. Like, yeah, it felt pretty bad.
Yeah, 5 goals, leading goal scorers 5 goals. Usually, like that's not a good sign of the team, unfortunately.
Yeah, unless you've got 5 guys with 5 goals, and that is a great sign.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I don't know, Blake, did you ever have like just a terrible college season? Like just as not you personally, but the team where you just like losing season or?
Yeah, our senior year we weren't very good.
Yeah, my sophomore year was like same thing, not good, and it is tough.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
And then
you gotta go to class.
the off season is just.
Coach is mad because
everybody,
yeah.
Yes, but coach is extremely mad.
And you don't know what, like, for us, we were like, what is our solution? Like, what? Does anyone know what's gonna happen? Like, it was terrible.
And then you lose the seniors right there out, and you just get to work.
Yeah, and so I should say we had 11 freshmen in my class that were all played. We all played. Like I remember that we played Xavier first game of freshman year. We got spanked 4-0, but it was 8 starting freshmen, 1 player who was a redshirt freshman starting as well, redshirt sophomore, excuse me. And so it was all of us, first game, we think we're sick, you know. I just came from Sporting. You guys can't do anything to me. But Xavier.
Yeah, they're legit. Right?
They're legit.
Yeah.
4-0, didn't touch the ball. It was a wrap. And that was kind of like the story of the season. Like, we just didn't touch the ball. We were grinding every game, playing for the counterattack. Yeah.
So what clicked? How'd you guys get over the hump? mean, obviously experience, you guys clearly, that many young kids playing
Mhm.
obviously helped, but was there anything that was like, you know what, junior year or sophomore year, whenever it kind of turned around, or was there even a moment that?
I don't even know if there was a moment that I can really remember, but I will say like my team, actually I can tell you what changed it. We had some transfers come in, some people leave, like as any other college school would have, but we had Cole Poppin and Lucas Bartlett. They were experienced guys. We needed experienced guys to lead us, to lead the young guys, and they set a standard, a tone that's something that I thought we really needed. So when those Lucas Bartlett and Cole Poppin and even our goalie Jared Brown came in, they uplifted guys. They said, hey, like I remember Cole was like, hey, you're not really gonna play pro if you're not training right now. I'm like, but I'm sore. I got class. He's like, yeah, but you're still not gonna play pro. And so like it was just things like that people needed to hear, things that people need to hear. I needed to hear what I need to do to get better, to win the season, to score more goals. And so I think those guys really brought a new level.
Talk about just like what it's like to be a college soccer player, and maybe I should say a student athlete.
Mhm.
A student athlete, yes, that's what we're gonna call you.
Mhm.
Because, well, you mentioned it in kind of our pre-chat. Your major is
Data analytics.
woof.
Yeah.
As an old guy.
It's not communications.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, life as a student athlete it gets harder and harder every year. I'd say that the academic workload. But I've seen guys do it with ease, no matter the major. It took me a while to learn because I just wanted to go play soccer, think about soccer, watch soccer. But I realized that if I don't get these grades, I'm not gonna get to play. And also my mom is always hammered, get your degree, get your degree, get your degree. So I'll start with what I struggled with. I struggled with making time to study, and like after practice, like wow, I gotta study right now. And I will say, like, if you are a student already right now who's developed a good study, what do you want to call it? A good study habit, yeah, then you'll be fine. But if you don't have a good study habit like I did, you're gonna have to learn how to develop one and kind of grind that study habit and make time out of your day. Like make sure you ate before you studied, because I would always forget to eat, and now my stomach is hungry and I'm supposed to be studying. You know,
And then you don't want to
and
study.
now you don't want to
So
study.
you're going to
yeah,
the humble with 7 guys. and
exactly.
You guys
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Like I got homework tonight, but like, man, that was the biggest thing. Study habits, like staying on a time schedule.
Yeah, time management.
Time management.